This will be day 5 of my writing challenge. I will do an update at the end, and the exact timestamp will be in the comments. The writing prompts for today are impulse, icy, and sleep. So let's begin. If you've ever gone into cryosleep, you know that coming back is not like waking from a deep sleep. You don't dream while you're under, and there is no sense of time passing during the trip. An instant after you are out, you're up again. The brain effectively reboots from a state of complete inactivity, and consciousness returns before memory and even personality. For the briefest of moments, you are pure emotion, and in most cases in pure terror. The body is left paralyzed while the mind awakens. This may sound cruel, but it helps to avoid harm to self or others during the state of panic, though it certainly doesn't help calm things down. I've only done the sleep once before. When I moved from Earth to Alpha Centauri in the second interstellar migration, at that time it was a necessity. The length of the trip in our primitive medicine meant without cryosleep, you would die of old age before ever reaching your destination. By the time I'd reached Alpha Centauri, we had finally defeated that ancient enemy of humanity. With the threat of aging eliminated, most would choose to find activities to pass the decades between systems, rather than suffer the moments after cryosleep. That was all a very long time ago. Now I was going on a much longer journey, and I was going alone. A few decades with a crew I could handle, but centuries of solitude, a few moments of panic was worth the sensation of a quick trip, right? Please enter the pod, the voice of the ship's AI repeated as I stood there, staring at my own reflection in the glass of the coffin-like bed that would regulate my life for the next 267 years. My existence was in the hands of the AI pilot and this pod. I thought I had prepared myself for this moment, but even as my thoughts willed my body to get into the pod, my body did not respond. It did not help to think that this was a similar paralysis to that which I would experience awakening on the other side. Granted, sir, your delay will not affect our overall journey time in any meaningful way, but in the short term, we are scheduled to take off in 2 hours. We need to get underway, or it may be an additional month before we can schedule departure again. The AI explained before repeating, "Please enter the pod." Finally, I bent and slid myself into position. Once I was in, the lid closed automatically. I felt weak before the gas ever affected my mind. I don't know if I'd passed out from the fear or the effect of the pod. Everything rumbles as an explosion shook the... Where am I? I can't move. It's dark, though some sort of clearing I can see flashing red lights. Move, damn it! I've been swallowed by some sort of mechanical demon. Riders of the end of days, the machines have come for my soul to drag it to hell where it has been judged long overdue. I can hear words, but they are a nonsense language which I do not speak. Tongues, the rambling of Satan reading off my sins. I am Terzo. I know the language I hear. It is the voice of the ship's AI. I am in a cryopod. Control of my limbs return to me and my arms lunge upward, throwing open the pod. Would have loved to give you more time to come to your senses, sir. Maybe offered a cup of tea, but it seems we are under attack. The AI said as I stumbled to my feet. Did something go wrong with the scheduled launch? Did they not let us leave? I asked. What? Oh no! That was all years ago. We have arrived at the space station Anari as planned. But things have... changed. Another explosion made it clear that there was not time to prompt the machine to elaborate. Sir, if you would please follow the red lights to the escape pod. I did so, navigating the short hall in zero-G. Several pipes spewed a variety of gases into the air. Lights were fading as the power seemed to die. As I entered the pod, the door shut behind me. What about you? I asked the AI. I appreciate the concern, sir. Of course, my first priority was downloading my backups into both escape pods before I ever woke you up. You know, priorities and whatnot. And I can be in both escape pods, so I got a better shot at getting out of this than you do. The pod detached from the main ship and thrust away as a series of 3 lasers tore through the rest of the ship, reducing it to debris. I could not see the source of whatever fired the lasers. Whatever it was, it used a distant weapon. It didn't seem to care about capturing or questioning us. A speaker came on. "Man, that me on the other ship was a real jerk," the voice of the AI said. "I just hope you know that unlike him, I prioritize your well-being." I ignored the AI and checked the data on the scans. "What are we doing?" I asked. "I have matched a speed and descent that should hopefully help mask us as debris. We are on a trajectory for the nearby planet of Miami. It's livable, but it won't be pleasant. We can't run. If we run, they will certainly see us as a vessel, and I'm not optimistic that they will be any more friendly the second time." Miami was a tropical world named after an ancient Earth city. It was meant to be a paradise for wealthy elite. But the scan data wasn't making any sense. The entire planet had been moved from its original orbit. Peering out the window, I could visibly see the ice sheets that now covered the planet. What the hell has happened here? So that has concluded day 5 of my writing challenge. As you may have noticed, it's been a little while since day 4. I managed to get myself tied up in trying to revise the story from day 4 into something that I liked better. I wrote a few different versions of it, didn't like any of those versions of it, and frustrated myself into giving up on the entire project as a whole. And I think overly focusing on the one day at this point was a problem. But I'm back into it now. I'm trying to pick up again, start where I left off. I was nervous about the 3 words this week. I think the idea came together better than I was initially expecting. Okay, and so now to generate our words for tomorrow. I'll just this here a couple of times. Whole, shock, and caress. Well, that's going to be odd. Let's see what we can do with that. See you tomorrow.